Well, everybody's got a little bit of an axe to grind or something to chew on with this budget coming up and wrapping up the session this go around. We're going to talk with Representative Tom O'Day on this edition of Meet the Leaders. I'm David Smith, and good to have you along with us today. This budget, as we're coming to a close of the session here, Tom, seems to be the two sides seem to get closer and closer and closer, which hopefully means more agreement will be reached in the final.
Yes. So we just got released just a one-page summary of the Democratic budget, which appears, at least at first glance, very similar to the Republican budget. So, like last time, we had a bipartisan budget, which is always the best. And it looks like this year we've got a chance at a bipartisan budget. A lot of work to be done, but it's going in the right direction.
Now, has the governor made any comment about anything at this point?
I don't think he has, because there's not much information out other than we just got literally a one-page summary that we've just been reviewing now. I will say that a big difference between the Democratic budget and the Republican budget is how to handle the rainy day fund. So we've got about $1 billion. The Republican budget has us paying a third to the teacher pension fund, a third to the general pension fund, and a third to the rainy day fund, and paying it now. Whereas the Democratic budget appears to be they want to hold it, the $1 billion, and see if we need it for next year.
Okay. Would that not effectively be a rainy day fund then, or no?
Well, unfortunately, I think that $1 billion could be spent elsewhere on other pet projects, other things that they want, that certain people may want to spend their money on.
Yeah.
At a time where the pension funds are completely underfunded, everybody agrees to that. We need to pay down these pensions, and I think if you ask the people whose pensions are affected, they want us to put the money into their pensions.
Okay, and I've talked to a number of Ds already, and they are not concluding that they don't want it in the rainy day fund. Many are saying, yes, we do want it in the rainy day fund because we have seen how those rainy days hit.
That's true, but if we keep kicking the can on these pensions, soon
but as you say, instead of saying that we might use this money, this $1 billion or whatever it is, some other way, keeping it in the rainy day fund for that time when you do need it.
If your options are spend it now, keep it in the rainy day fund, or pay down our pensions, I think we need to pay down the pensions now.
You're doing both, and I think the Democrats are looking at both pretty much at this point. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. As you take a look at what has occurred in this session, what have you liked and what have you not liked?
So, if you look back, the bipartisan bills are always the best. The couple of things I really don't like, with all due respect to my UConn friends, the graduate students getting $15 million in pay raises and benefits over the next 4 years is outrageous.
These are graduate professors and so forth?
There's graduate assistants. They're graduate student assistants. Okay. So literally there's 2,150 of them. Okay, and we literally, on party lines, we voted to give them a $15 million raise in benefits over the next 4 years. We simply can't afford that. I have yet to see a UConn student assistant bang down my door saying not only do we need free education, but we need raises. They're getting paid between $20,000 and $40,000 on top of free tuition and health care for $240 a year. That is way too much money. We need other things to spend our money on. We have other things we need to spend our money on. The other outrageous thing, in my humble opinion, is, all due respect to the governor, I get along with Governor Malloy. I think his heart is in the right place, but he just appointed 32 judges on the way out the door to the tune of $12 million a year. The judiciary said they can't afford one new judge, let alone 32 new judges. They have a lot. That's $12 million per year that we can't afford. And Judge Pat Carroll, who's the chief judge administrator, said we can't afford. And when the judiciary is telling you they can't afford them, that's telling you something.
Now, there have been a lot of empty robes, if you will, in the judgeships for quite a while.
True. However, the judiciary...
Are they able to do those that were left? Were they able to do the job in a...
Yes. So I'm a practicing litigator.
Okay.
That's where I do my full-time job.
Yep.
We're in court now in death cases, marking our own exhibits, having to wait for court reporters to get from one courtroom to the next, where you've got 10, 15, 20 lawyers costing people a lot of money waiting for a court reporter, waiting for judicial staff. I mean, the judges' safety. We had judges pushing the red button because a litigant was getting out of control and they feared for the safety of not only themselves but court staff. and the marshals, state marshals, can't get there within 10, 15 minutes.
So you're suggesting staffing is needed, but not necessarily at the top robes?
Yes, absolutely. Unless the judges want to be doing the marshal work, the court reporter work, and the court clerk work, we don't need them. We can't. We have other needs in the judiciary, especially in family courts, the family services. They're the front line, and they've been cut. They've been decimated. The judiciary is begging us for money. We keep cutting them to give the family support services. I mean, they're the frontline staff that we need to fund, not the judges. In all due respect to the governor and the majority party, we literally just passed on party line 32 new judges that we can't afford.
But it's a done deal.
It's a done deal. They're in judges school now.
Well, this is something that you're going to have to next time. There's still vacancies, I believe. Are there
So
not?
there's still, but not. It's the largest one-time appointment of any exiting governor in modern history. So that's a done deal. We still have a lot of work to do. There's 3 days left in the session. We're going to be a lot of late nights. Hopefully, we can get a bipartisan budget like we did last time to address the fiscal situation going forward.
Is there anything else that you would like to see besides the budget that you have as a pet project that still has a chance in this last few hours?
We just had a number of task force looking at how we can better handle those most in need in the educational system. We've got we just passed a food allergy bill in the House to make sure those with severe food allergies are addressed on the buses. So we've got some small pet projects with some of the representatives. For me, I have a CIAC high school athletic task force to look into how we can better serve our high school athletes around the school year.
And yet some of the urban areas are talking about
getting
rid of athletics altogether.
And David,
which is so necessary.
And I come from New Canaan and Wilton. And we have there's a lot of financial resources in our town to support our sports going forward. We've supported our Harlem lacrosse, which my friend Kim Apelt started. We've been giving millions of dollars to lacrosse throughout the inner cities, throughout the state and the country. We've got to do more for our inner cities. The athletics, I think, is a huge important of growing up and learning, and we need to do more for our cities on that. So that's one of the task force we're looking to look into athletics in the inner cities.
Still lots of work to be done, no question about it, Tom. Thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Representative Tom O'Day, our guest on this edition of Meet the Leaders. You see, it ain't over till it's over. That is for sure here, certainly in Hartford. Meet the Leaders at Hartford. I'm David Smith.